rolling.
Hello, this is Joseph.
This is James.
And this is Amy.
And we are interviewing Amy O'Neill from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Star Trek Next Generation, and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. James, you have any questions for Amy?
How did you film the scenes with the big Lego?
Oh, the scenes with the big Lego. Well, that was in the backyard, the grass set. And the big Lego was really kind of how it looked in the movie. They had built this beautiful, I think it was made out of fiberglass Lego, but the backyard set, you know, it had all of these like huge blades of grass that had all of these little filaments of like transparent fiber optic cable that was like melted to look like more like hairs, and they stuck them in. It took months of like hundreds of people sticking in these little pieces of like what looked like hair on the grass. And then they would come and they'd spray it with like a mist of water so that it would sparkle in the light. And then they would come in with burned frankincense resin, which is like what they use in Catholic churches, you know, when they burn that stuff in the swinging,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it fills the air with like a little bit of a smoke that has a certain kind of smell. So they would burn that in the environment so that when they shot the light down from different different distances from the camera, you would see like one beam of light coming down here and you'd see one beam of light coming down there. So it gave the light something to bounce off of. And with that and the mist that they sprayed on the grass, it was so beautiful. It was just magical. And the Lego, you know, we had some important scenes at the Lego, one being when the scorpion came.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of that was filming the scorpion fight right in front of the Lego.
And that's awesome. I think that perfectly goes into the next question. What was it like having filming one of the most traumatizing deaths in a kid's movie up there with like Artax in Auntie?
Well, you know, there were quite a few puppeteers and artists that went into creating Auntie, besides just the writer writing the character of Auntie. So, you know, I would say that his name is Mark Brian Wilson, the head puppeteer, the lead puppeteer, and he would be the person that would be wearing this contraption on their arms they'd move them, and that would move the Auntie's antennas, and he would also be in charge of moving like the way the Auntie's head would move. So through him animating Auntie, because Auntie was really like a puppet, you know, like a doll, he was so brilliant at it that it really brought Auntie to life. And also the artist who like made him look kind of glossy, you know, he always looked a little bit wet.
Yeah.
Auntie. So there was a lot that went into building the character of Auntie so that the audience fell in love with him, right?
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, Auntie, when he first came into the picture, and Ron and Russ and Nikki were trying to like tame him, right, by jumping on him. That was another version of Auntie who was like a bucking bronco, you know, so that they could really like jump onto Auntie and Auntie would flail them off into
Like
the
a
grass.
mechanical bull kind of.
Exactly, like a mechanical bull. Perfect. I forgot what it was called. But so there was that Auntie, but then there was also miniature Aunties, you know, that they would use out of claymation and do like stop motion. So there were a lot of different artists that went into making Auntie seem real, so that we fell in love with them. So we were so sad when he didn't make it. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
And you know, what was it like acting so young and like joining like people who've been there for a long time, like Rick Moranis? Like, do you have any fun stories working with him?
Oh, I loved working with Rick Moranis. You know, any of the scenes where we were shrunk, we weren't actually working with him directly. You know, we were working with like blue screens and imagining him there. Like a lot of working on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was like really committing to our imaginations, because there was just so much fantastic stuff going on. But yeah, so I started acting when I was pretty young, and I did some TV. At first, I did a lot of commercials, and I did some plays, and then I got some jobs on TV, like the Mama's Family with Carol
Oh,
Burnett.
I'll have to tell my aunt if she's watching.
Right?
She's a big Addams Family fan.
Carol Burnett.
Mama's Family fan. I
Yeah.
don't know why I said Addams Family.
That's okay. We all mess up sometimes.
She probably will know that exact episode. She would probably tell me that if she knew I was seeing you.
It was called Mama's Birthday, and it was a flashback, and it was really fun because I had been a fan of the Carol Burnett show, so I knew Vicki Lawrence and Carol Burnett and Harvey Korman, right? And Harvey Korman was the director on this. So, and I was working with Vicki Lawrence, and it was filmed in front of a studio audience, and there were a bunch of cameras, so it was like rehearse for a week and then film it in front of the live audience. So I really had to learn how to, like, you know, relax in intense situations, you know, which that there's a little bit of an art to that, you know, like learning how to, like, not be scared but be excited and kind of like, yeah, not spaz out. Because the problem is that if you're working with like Carol Burnett or Vicki Lawrence or whatever, and you're like, oh, I can't believe it's you, they're gonna be so uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So you got to make them feel comfortable too. So you got to, like, keep it on the low down if you're all excited, and just treat them like a coworker, right? So yeah, that's kind of how it was with Rick Moranis. But Rick Moranis was so nice, and he made everybody feel so comfortable on set, and he made it really easy for me to pretend like he was my dad, and I loved it because I had been a huge fan of Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh
He was
yeah,
brilliant in that. Ghostbusters, yeah.
Brilliant actor.
Yeah, it felt like everything happened really quickly. Like I went on the audition, got the callback, got the screen test. All of a sudden, I got the job, and I was flying to Mexico to be in a Disney movie. So it was like, and then yeah, so there wasn't a lot of time to think too much about what was going on. But yeah, it was a big deal for me.
What was it like filming in Mexico? I didn't know they filmed it there.
Yeah, we filmed for 5 months in Mexico City at an old film studio called Studio Churubusco, and it was a low budget movie.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
It's
believe it
crazy
or
how
not.
good it looked.
Yeah,
It was way ahead of its time.
I think so too.
If they tried to make it now, they could not. They could not do it. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, there was a lot of brilliance. Well, you know Joe Johnston, who was the director of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. This was his directorial debut.
Really?
However, he had worked with Industrial Light and Magic he was the storyboarder for Star Wars, the first one.
Oh.
Yeah, and helped invent some of the special effects to make Star Wars happen.
Wow.
Do you have the Disney Channel, Disney Plus?
Yes, that's where we watched the movie.
Yeah, there's a documentary called Light and Magic that goes in depth into Industrial Light and Magic, and you see Joe Johnston. In fact, he directed the second season, which goes more into computer and more modern stuff. But you get to see, like, the process of these guys who are passionate about creating this fantasy world, and watch them, like, try to develop how to do it. They didn't know when they made Star Wars if it was going to turn out looking good or not. And look at what happened.
It didn't look good, but still it was popular.
I thought it looked great. It fooled me, but I was a little kid when I first saw it. It's true.
Oh yeah. But if you think about how much plot armor these kids have, like these kids had in the movie, like it was so like they could have turned into a horror story multiple times. The Scorpion could have killed all of them. He could have got eaten by his dad in the cereal. They could have got lawn mowed. It could have turned bad so many times, but they survived.
Well, originally the whole movie was written to be a horror movie for kids, because the original writer was a horror movie, he's got a big following. Stuart Gordon, he did The Reanimator and a bunch of other movies. So he had kids and he wanted to make a horror movie for kids. So originally in that script there were 5 kids at the beginning, and one of the kids dies. And I asked the director, I asked Joe, I said, oh, did they die in the sprinkler scene? And he said, no, I think they died like in a vat of syrup or something. And so when Joe Johnston came on to become the director, he was like, no, that's not like a Disney kind of thing. And so, yeah, he changed some of the script.
What was the kid's name?
I don't know, because I didn't get to read that version.
As good as the movie was, I'm not gonna lie, I want to see that
I know,
because
me
like
too.
because I love like Coraline. Good, it's good to get your kids into scary movies. My first horror movie was Poltergeist,
Oh,
and actually about a year and a half ago, I got to interview Martin Castelli. You know, the guy that's like, "Arr," who like ripped his face off.
oh wow.
And you're actually only the second interview I've done, but the first was him, and so like, as good as the movie was, I kind of wish we got to see that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, well, I don't know where they have that. I heard that some of it
Lost
was.
media.
Yeah. Yeah, we just have to imagine it, I guess. But I'm glad it turned out the way it did, so we didn't have.
Oh
like-
yeah. You want to traumatize all the kids?
Yeah.
Well,
Auntie was
Disney-
bad enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Auntie's up there with like Mufasa and all the deaths that traumatized kids, and it was like, I mean, Disney did some good like scary kids movies, like Nightmare Before Christmas, James the Giant Peach. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think it would have been pretty good.
Well, I remember when I was little, I thought Bambi was scary.
Oh yeah, cause doesn't her mom die?
Yeah, and the fire and stuff.
Oh.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you missed
Spoiler
that.
alert.
Well, obviously, I know the spoilers.
Don't be too scared.
Okay, I'll try not to be. I'll try not to be.
It's a little scarier than Poltergeist.
I know
Just
you were
kidding.
talking about how you need to use your imagination a lot. Did you ever do that too much that you like got scared from it?
Oh yeah, that's why I don't watch movies like Poltergeist. I don't. Yeah, I don't really like horror movies.
You could be like in a documentary if like child stars gone wrong. I thought too much during Honey I Shrunk the Kids. That's
Oh,
why I am how I
no.
am. Yeah. Any more questions? I don't want to hold you up too much.
I'm not sure.
I got one sort of relating to Comic Cons.
Mhm.
What's the craziest thing you've signed, and who's the craziest person? Like if there's somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan, or like, who's your favorite person you've met at some of these cons?
That's tough. Well, I have some really wonderful fans
Mhm.
who, yeah, they find me on social media, and then we've been in correspondence since then. Trying to think of anything. I'll probably think of it right when the interview's over. something crazy I've signed.
Our sister's a big fan of yours.
Aw, well, hi, sister. What?
He was being goofy.
Oh.
I was.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions I got. Like burning questions. Let's see. What was your favorite moment on set? I think that's a good last question.
My favorite moment on set. Well, I really liked the athleticism in Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Like, there was a lot of running and around and stuff. And probably it's a toss-up between the broom scene
Oh.
or the lawnmower scene when we get sucked out of the wormhole. Because both of those, we got to be put up in harnesses and suspended in the air. So like we were hooked up to like a contraption with the broom where we got pulled back and then like they let us go, but we were actually we had to look like we were holding on for dear life to the broom straws.
Like the bristles.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bristles, but really we were harnessed up, right? So those were probably my favorite. I liked the similarity to flying.
I always wanted to fly. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for doing the interview.
My pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And,
Subscribe to James the Wise on YouTube.
oh, yeah, subscribe to James the Wise. Any socials you want to link?
Yeah, you can find me on my Instagram at Amy O'Neill Official.
Oh, yeah, and if you need any autographs, your website?
You can find me at this point in time on my Etsy page under Amy O'Neill, or through my Instagram. There's a link.
All right, that about concludes it. Thank you guys for watching again.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for the double intro, but outro. But yeah, bye.
Bye.